Letitia James, who last time came on, you brought up the whole mortgage fraud and what should happen there. Now there's even more about this case. Now she's being investigated in Virginia because she had a primary residence over there, but you can't be primary residence because you're getting a special mortgage deal, but you can't do that because you work and live in New York State. There's a woman that has come out and said that she sexually was harassed by not only Tish James, but her chief of staff, and she was covering it up. Ooh. The Post had originally written about this. The story here is that it got buried a few times, this story, right? And that's a sexual harassment. And this is this right here on the screen this is that property in Norfolk. And it's according to Norfolk property records, James granted power of attorney to her niece, Shamice Thompson Hairston, on August 17, 2023, authorizing the purchase of the Virginia property for which they secured a $219,780 mortgage. They probably went to go party at Con Sofrito after that. So the whole sexual harassment thing is pretty big. She made a complaint back in 2015, 14, 16 in this range to the New York State Human Rights Division. Mm-hmm. But the results of this never came out. It's like they completely buried this thing. And she worked there and she was harassed by his chief of staff, who has another case as well. And they're just trying to plug the holes. But this woman is very adamant about it. And that one just came out, even though I kind of knew about it because it was known. And of course, we have that whole human trafficking thing that was going on, that was reported at Con Sofrito, and nothing happened there. And she's smiling with Jimmy and all these other people, and nothing went on with that. So what is your take on that whole situation? Now, this sexual harassment thing that she clearly is being covering up from her employees and is involved herself, apparently.
I mean, I would love to foil that investigation and see exactly what was done and not done, because it sounds like she is very picky and choosy with respect to who she investigates and when. I don't have a ton of dealings with her office, but I've been a little unimpressed with respect to what she's willing to do, even in light of evidence that exists, and what she's, essentially not willing to investigate. And this, to me, sounds par for the course, that she probably didn't want to investigate this as thoroughly as she, could have, because it involved somebody that was close to her. And I would like, and also, by the way, when it comes to somebody that high up in the office or that close to her, a lot of times you hire or push out to an external oversight investigative team rather than internally investigating it, because of the possibility of this looking biased, right? Because of the fact that, you personally, you as the AG are close with the person being accused. Sometimes, just the appearance of impropriety is enough. And so there should be standards in those types of situations where you push those cases out to an unbiased. People do it all the time. I mean, agencies do it all the time. Companies do it all the time, where they will push it out, and so that nobody can claim that your investigation was biased or impartial. So I would be curious to see what exactly went down in that investigation, and whether who investigated it within her office and what the results were. It sounds like that woman never even got a final decision from the office saying what they found, what they didn't find, etc.
Yeah, I can tell you, because it's all over the internet, and it is definitely is accused of sexual assault and abduction. That's what she's being accused of from this woman.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find an article right now myself. I know that this woman has made these claims for about 10, at least, I'd say a good 10 years. She's been silent, though, and she's trying to paint her as some nut. Mm-hmm. She's crazy. But clearly the abuse that was going on in the office was being covered up as well, because of the chief of staff that she has is the one that was clearly involved in this as well, and she's covering this up. And I I got to get on top of this one because we've been all over the mortgage fraud and all of that. This sexual harassment that she is involved in or covered up herself with her, this is going to go far, I think, to add to the mortgage fraud. I mean, she's a mess. She shouldn't be Attorney General. That's the bottom. She wants to go party with Jimmy. She should go party with Jimmy and stay out of being Attorney General because she's too involved in that stuff. Oh,